Hello, welcome to Microsoft Excel session for the day. We have been learning the various features of Microsoft Excel. Till date, we have learned about the ribbon menus, we have learned about how to use the different features, the different formulas that we can use, the functions. In the past few sessions, we also learned about how to copy and paste data in Microsoft Excel using various paste features. Now we will be learning about the various printing features. We will be starting today with printing an Excel sheet with a page break preview and then printing a selected part only. Now, the reason behind learning this too or for printing is all of you know how to print a document. But Microsoft Excel specifically has features where it helps and simplifies your printing of a document. For example, whenever you're printing an Excel sheet, and let's say you have created a very good spreadsheet with all of the data and everything, and you start printing it, and then you realize that there is a mistake. Your pages are not proper. Most of the data has spilled over to other columns, and it's not coming in the way that you visualize the the printed document to be. What happens here is one, you do not have the use of those pages. So you either have to throw it or have to recycle it. Secondly, your printing ink is also something that it gets wasted. Third of all, whenever you're printing this, again you have to put your time, energy, and effort to again print that document. And this is a very time intensive process, right? Well, Microsoft Excel actually helps you in printing the pages in the way that you would want it. The first way is obviously with the page break. Now, you remember when we spoke about page break in Microsoft Word as well as in Excel sessions, that what is a page break? When you want to shift your content from one page to another page without using enter and keep on going, inserting a new line, you basically use the page break function to insert a page break and shift your content into the next page. Now, this one does not hurt either the formatting of the page, and also it does not hurt how the pages are going to look like, right? And you know how your content has shifted. So let's learn how to insert a page break and use this page break preview. So we'll go back and we will go to the document. So let's say this is one of my pages that I want to use. So you remember this page, which is we have been using for our assignments. What I will do is I'll go to view, and you see our default mode is normal mode. So we click on the page break preview. Once we click on the page break preview, as you can see, it's already been divided into page 1 and page 2. Again, if we go back to normal, you're seeing right how the whole page is looking like. So let me increase this so that there's enough space. And then if we go to page break preview, you can see that this is page 1 and this is page 2. Now I'm going to scroll a bit because I want you to understand something here. For example, if you zoom in, you will see that there is a dotted blue line which is running right from the middle of the page, right? So you see this dotted blue line? That means this is bifurcating the page and making it look into page break preview. Now, if we go back, if we zoom out a bit, and you see this dotted line and you realize, no, I want this price section also to be here. What you can do is you select this line and you put it here. Or let's say you want to select this line and put it here. You can do that as well, depending on how you want your page 1 and page 2 look like, right? Now, for example, because you want this sort of a page layout, and this is what your required is, this is your page 1 and this is your page 2 after using the page break preview, go to File, go to Print. Once you go to Print, you see that there are active sheets. what you can do is, let's say I just want to page active sheet. So you just want to print only page 1, right? And this is how your page 2 is looking like, right? So you see how the whole document looks like. You know how many pages have happened. You know how the pages are going to look like, and you know how to use that. Now, most importantly that you should understand is this page break preview that you see, this whole thing, you should see the preview before you're printing it. Do not just print blindly because some documents needs to be printed. No, make sure that you are seeing how the document is looking like, because you do not want to again sit and print your documents again. No, what you want to do is you want to finish the printing of the documents and you want to submit it or check what is the report that you want to see, what is the part, how exactly is that document going to be useful to you. But always print, do a print preview before you're printing your document. That's something that you have to do it, right? Now, because my page break has been inserted here, doesn't mean I'm going to be losing any information. It just means that instead of spilling it over, I have decided that I'm going to use 2 pages to look at the data properly. Now, you can also make sure that whenever you, if you want, let's say this part not to be included and this is part 3, you can also change this and see how to insert a page break there. Yeah. So depending on your requirement, you can do all of these things. You can increase this as well if you want to. So see, this is what my page 2 will include, and this is what my page 1 will include. Specifically, if your data is there in the normal format, not and you haven't used transpose paste here, I think then using a page break is more easy. If you've used a transpose paste here, I would say double check on the document, because then you will be able to see how much has to be printed, or you know how the whole layout looks like, right? So this is how you can use page break preview. Now let us go back and let us understand printing a selection part. Now, when you are printing a big document, what happens is that because you're printing a big document, that means your data or the part that you want to concentrate on might get really lost. And you might be thinking how. So let's say you're printing a document, a data sheet, which includes about 100 to 200 sets of data. But there is only one part of that data that you want to focus on, or you want your target audience to focus on, right? And you have printed out that data. But the moment you print out that whole set of data, you are suddenly very confused to look for where exactly was that part of the data located. And most importantly, you won't be able to find that. It becomes very time intensive process to look and search for that data part, right? So what you should be doing is you select the small part to print. And how do you do that? Something that we're going to learn right now. So if you print a specific selection on a worksheet frequently, you can define the print area that includes just the selection. Specifically, let's say you have been working on a certain part and you want to check it by your team members, so you have taken a printout. You can first of all define that as a print area, because that is your most concentrated section. A print area is one or more ranges of the cell that you designate to print when you don't want to print the entire worksheet. What exactly is print area is, let's say the whole of worksheet will have data, but there is a designated area that you are working on. That part of the data, when you want to compute it, you select that whole section or the cell ranges and you print it. You can add cells to expand the print area, or you can clear the print area as well, yeah, to print the entire worksheet. Now don't apply selected part when you are printing, because if you're looking for the entire worksheet, then obviously you just need to normally print out the document. But if you want a selected part, always define that selected part. So let's understand how to use the selected part of the Microsoft Excel. So we will go back and we go to Microsoft Excel. For example, this is our page. Now I'll go to normal view here and let me select this part of the page. This is what I want to select. Yeah. Now what I will go do is go to file, go to print, and you see it's written print active sheets, right? Because there's no page break that is on. So what you can do is you can do print selection. So in the print itself, you will be able to see settings, and in the print active sheet, there's a drop down menu which you select, which you click on, and you get print selection. And you see the only the area which I have selected is getting printed here. Only the area that I have selected, the cell ranges that I have selected will get printed here. What happens then is because I've selected a certain range, one, it's easier to work on that set of data then. Yeah, because you have been working on that, you want to look into it, you might want to review it, you can just take out that printed selection part. That selected part only you can print it out. Secondly, it saves your time and effort to figure out from that huge data sheet that you have printed in where is your exact data located. Because let's say your data sheet, even if you're printing, it will be about 10 sheets, 12 sheets, or even 5 sheets for that matter, depending on how much content is there. But in case you would want to print it out and want to check, okay, this is how the whole printing part looks, or this is how the selected part looks, you can always just print out the selected part instead of using a highlight and then printing it out and then, okay, this is the part I wanted to concentrate. No, your page will only have your selected part. The printed page that you have taken it out will only have that selected part, right? So this is where selected part is very, very important, and you can actually use it so that you can concentrate and your mind does not get deviated, or you don't start saying things that there's so many things in the document itself. You can just concentrate on that part. Now if you check into the settings, you see that there are different settings. One is the print active sheets, entire workbook, print selection. So active sheets is the sheet that you're working on, right? Entire workbook is like all, so let's say if you have 10 spreadsheets, the whole, along with the 10 spreadsheets, the whole workbook gets printed, right? Because workbook consists of spreadsheets. So however many spreadsheets are there will get printed. And then there is print selection. So every time you're printing a document, make sure that you are checking the settings from before itself. Obvious, there's collated to see if you want the document to be collated. There's portrait and landscape orientation, depending on your requirement, you can do that. Then there is page size, where there is tabloid, legal, statement, executive, A3, A4, depending on your requirement. Obviously, there is normal margins in case you want to put like margins in the document to see. For example, I've put a wide margin here, and you can custom scale the document as well, right? So you see how the whole document looks like right now. To make sure that your document looks proper, it looks neat, it looks good, and most importantly, your information, the most important information does not spill out in other pages and all. You need to preview the document before printing it. It is very, very important for you to preview the document before you print out the document, right? So this is how the selected part printing looks. Now, to know more about how to print the selected area or set a selected area, and also how to use page breaks in Microsoft Excel, do visit support.microsoft.com to learn more about all of these features and also more functions and more features that are there in Microsoft Excel. You will be able to access support.microsoft.com to learn the same. Also, please make sure that you are finishing a course on Microsoft Excel in Microsoft Learn and earning a few credits. Thank you.